The Malacca Strait is a maritime artery of global significance. It's the shortest sea route between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, making it a vital trade route. Over 90,000 vessels traverse this narrow passage each year, carrying a staggering amount of the world's goods. Everything from crude oil to manufactured products flows through this channel. The strait's importance cannot be overstated. It's a lifeline for countless economies and also a potential flashpoint for disasters. The sheer volume of traffic creates immense pressure on the waterway. The Malacca Strait is less than 1.5 nautical miles wide at its narrowest point, making it one of the world's most congested shipping lanes. The potential for accidents is high, and the consequences of a major incident could be catastrophic. The need for robust safety measures is clear. Mandatory pilotage is one such measure. It's a system where local pilots with specialized knowledge board ships and guide vessels through the strait's treacherous waters. The Malacca Strait presents a unique set of navigational challenges. Strong currents, unpredictable weather patterns, and shallow waters all pose significant risks. Add to this the constant presence of fishing vessels and small boats, and the result is a complex and often hazardous maritime environment. Navigational errors are common in the strait, leading to collisions, groundings, and other incidents. In 2017, the collision of 2 container ships near Singapore resulted in a massive oil spill. This incident highlighted the environmental and economic fragility of the strait. The International Maritime Organization, or IMO, has designated the Malacca Strait as a particularly sensitive sea area, PSSA. This designation recognizes the strait's ecological importance and highlights its vulnerability to shipping accidents. Mandatory pilotage is a proactive measure to mitigate these risks. It introduces an extra layer of safety with experienced pilots bringing local knowledge and expertise. This can be invaluable in navigating the strait's challenges. Human error is a major factor in maritime accidents. Fatigue, stress, and communication breakdowns can all contribute to catastrophic incidents. The demanding nature of seafaring can take a toll on even the most experienced crews. The Malacca Strait's unique challenges exacerbate these risks. The constant need for vigilance and quick decision-making can be overwhelming. Add to this the language barriers that often exist between crews and local authorities, and the potential for misunderstanding is high. Mandatory pilotage helps to address the human factor in maritime safety. Local pilots act as an extra set of eyes and ears on the bridge. They can provide real-time guidance and support to the ship's master, helping to reduce the burden on the crew and minimize the risk of human error. The environmental consequences of a major oil spill in the Malacca Strait would be devastating. The strait is home to a rich diversity of marine life and supports the livelihoods of millions of people who depend on fishing and tourism. An oil spill would contaminate fishing grounds and damage sensitive coastal habitats, having a ripple effect throughout the marine ecosystem. It could take decades for the environment to recover. The economic impact of a major spill would be equally severe. The closure of shipping lanes would disrupt global trade, and the cost of cleanup and environmental remediation would be astronomical. Mandatory pilotage is an investment in environmental protection. By reducing the risk of accidents, it helps to safeguard the strait's fragile ecosystem and protects the livelihoods of those who depend on it. Section 5. Not all ships are created equal. The risks posed by shipping in the Malacca Strait are not uniform. Some vessels, due to their size, cargo, or flag state, represent a greater potential hazard. Large tankers carrying oil or hazardous materials pose a significant environmental risk. Vessels from countries with lax safety regulations or poor compliance records also present a greater risk. A targeted approach to mandatory pilotage allows authorities to focus on the highest risk vessels. By analyzing factors such as ship size, cargo type, flag state, and past compliance history, authorities can identify vessels that would benefit most from mandatory pilotage. This risk-based approach ensures that resources are used effectively to maximize safety and minimize environmental risk. Section 6. A mosaic of fragile ecosystems. The Malacca Strait is not just a shipping lane, it is a vibrant ecosystem. Mangrove forests, coral reefs, and seagrass beds teem with life. These habitats provide essential spawning and nursery grounds for countless marine species. These ecosystems are also crucial for coastal protection. Mangroves, for example, act as natural buffers against storm surges and erosion. They play a vital role in mitigating the impacts of climate change. The environmental sensitivity of the strait demands a cautious approach to shipping. Mandatory pilotage is one way to minimize the risk of accidents that could damage these irreplaceable habitats. Section 7. The price of prudence. Mandatory pilotage is not without its costs. It requires investment in training and infrastructure. It also adds an additional expense for shipping companies. However, these costs must be weighed against the potential benefits. The cost of a major accident in the Malacca Strait would dwarf the cost of implementing mandatory pilotage. The safety of seafarers, the protection of the environment, and the stability of global trade are all at stake. In this context, the cost of mandatory pilotage is a small price to pay for peace of mind. Section 8. Weighing the scales, safety versus cost. The debate over mandatory pilotage in the Malacca Strait is ultimately a debate about risk management. It is about finding the right balance between the economic interests of the shipping industry and the imperative to protect human life and the environment. Opponents of mandatory pilotage argue that it is an unnecessary burden on the shipping industry. They claim that it adds costs and delays without significantly improving safety. Proponents counter that the potential consequences of a major accident far outweigh any perceived costs. They argue that mandatory pilotage is a proven risk reduction strategy that saves lives, protects the environment, and safeguards the interests of the shipping industry itself. Section 9. Charting a course toward a safer future. The Malacca Strait is a shared resource. Its safety and sustainability require international cooperation and a commitment to proactive risk management. Mandatory pilotage, while not a silver bullet, is a crucial step in the right direction. By embracing a precautionary approach that prioritizes safety and environmental protection, we can ensure that the Malacca Strait continues to be a vital artery of global trade for generations to come. The time to act is now. The risks are too high, and the stakes are too great to delay.